The Leading Edge Cricket Podcast. Missing straight one since 2004.
Hey guys, Rob from the Leading Edge Cricket Podcast here. Just to let you know, we've had a few technical issues around today's episode. The audio quality has gone awry. We've done our best, and this is what we've got for you. Rest assured, next time, much better. Hey guys, welcome back to the Leading Edge Cricket Podcast. I am Rob, one half of the Leading Edge Podcast, and thank you for all the views, subscribes and reviews that's been going on. We've hit around 700 views or listens to the podcast across Apple, Android, SoundCloud and YouTube. Really, really awesome. And episode 8 of the Leading Edge Podcast is going to be bloody huge. South Africa, Australia for that. What the hell is Mohammed Shami doing? New Zealand, England about to get going. There's county injuries, overseas signings, the Pakistan Super League, West Indies a resurgence against the England Lions, and the World Cup Qualifiers all in one breath. Now, as always, I'm joined by my co-host Rich.
Hello, Rob. How you doing there, buddy? Did you get off your seat? You got pretty excited then.
Very flustered. Over ambitious, over excited, and now I'm hooked up to a bit of oxygen.
I'm just glad there wasn't any more news than what there already is, because I think you may have gone too high for everybody to hear.
Oh, it's a bit like Stewie or Family Guy, where he keeps getting higher and higher.
No comment.
Now, we always start off the episode with going, Rich, what the hell has been going on in your week? And I think you've just gave me a snippet of what's been going on with you trying to reenact Waterworld, the film. What's been going on?
Oh, a minor plumbing issue. Is this what you're talking about? Yeah. It was just look, trying to save some money, just replacing a sink, just redoing a bathroom, and just thought I'd done it all, just tightening it up a little bit, just a little bit more, just to make sure it's all okay. And suddenly just the copper pipe just burst off and water started flying around the room. So my dad was cool as you were like, Dad, quick, give me the towel. Where's the screwdriver? And Dad was just stood there, turning around in circles, going, where's the towels? So it's a bathroom in front of you. No, but it was all recovered. It was all mopped. I was dried. Everything was done. We have a sink. It's working.
Nice. It's quite manly though as well. Going, I'm going to replace a sink, bro.
Oh, honestly, it's never as easy as that. So,
it's not. I love parents' calmness as well. I remember once with my mum, I think I was unplugging or plugging in a washing machine, one of the two, but the tap was on rather than off. She'd forgot which way it had gone, and the water was just streaming everywhere, all across the kitchen. And instead of going for the actual tap, she just went to put a finger in to plug the pipe.
You don't need to go to college for that, do you? That's awesome.
You can't teach that. You can't teach it.
Can't. Great knowledge. Parent knowledge. Anyway, all good. What's this got to do with cricket?
It is on a different level. Enough for the fluff. Cricket news.
Right, we're going to start off. Mohammed Nabi. Okay, the Afghanistan all-rounder. He's signed on for Leicestershire to play in the T20 Vitality Blast competition this summer. Really good to hear this. Afghanistan players getting picked up to play county cricket. He's joining Mohammed Abbas and Sohail Khan as the overseas players for Leicestershire. He's an impressive guy. He's in 961 T20 runs for Afghanistan with a strike rate of 139 and taken 61 wickets at an average of under 25. He's the second Afghani to sign on this year. Obviously, 19-year-old leggy Rashid Khan has agreed to join with Sussex for the first half of the campaign. So, a couple of good signings. Just really, really impressive to see the Afghani lads coming over. And we've said it before, but Leicestershire, they've got a really good setup there for overseas players. So, most impressed by their business.
Very good signing. One of the things that amazes me about some of these associate nation teams coming through, and it's a testament to the world of cricket and how much cricket those guys play, is Mohammed Nabi. He's played 94 one-day international matches. Talk about experience coming in as an overseas player.
That's about 5 years of club cricket, isn't it?
It is. The guy's a machine at that level.
Awesome. No, it'd be interesting to see how he gets on. But an all-rounder like that is just such an ideal pickup in county cricket. I'm sure he'll do really, really well. Matt Henry, Kiwi seamer, we believe he's verging on Kiwi quick. Matt Henry signed on for Kent. And he's going to join up with his new county in time for the start of the new season and be available for the first 7 county championship games and the domestic one-day cup. Another good signing. Not quite as big a name as some of the others, but a good sign.
Third stint over in the English game, and I may be wrong, but I think it's his first go at county cricket. He's played 2 stints of T20 Blast. one with Worcestershire and one with Derbyshire. So fair play to the lad, coming in, getting stuck in, county circuit, hard yards, green seamer, he'll be licking his lips ready to go.
Oh, can't wait. Bad news now, Rob. Really sorry to break this to you. I want everyone to be sat down. This one really hurts. Podcast favourite Mitchell Santner, Kiwi all-rounder. He's going to miss the next 6 to 9 months. He's found out he needs a knee operation. He's basically had an issue, bone defect, and he's now going to need. He's not got any better, so he's going to need to undergo surgery to rectify the problem in order to make sure it's not a long-term issue. He's going to miss his upcoming stint with the Chennai Super Kings in the IPL, as well as his spell in county cricket with Derbyshire. So he's 26. He's going to miss the next 6 to 9 months. Hopefully, for the long term, this will do him right. But really bad news for Mitch, and bad news for the Leading Edge Cricket podcast.
Mate, part of me wonders if we'll ever recover from Mitchell Santner going down injured.
Well, we went from episode 1 of me going, Mitchell Santner, yeah, what about him? To going, actually, no, he's in my team. He's in my 11. Get out. So.
It's gutting for the guy as well. Like 26 years old, peak of his power, and you always see spinners get better with age normally, don't you? You see them get more control and a bit more up top in terms of how to work out a batsman, how to get them out. And times like this, like 9 months when he's 26, 27, 28 years old, it's pretty hard for the guy. So hopefully he comes back stronger and better than ever. He may even come back as a top 6 batsman. You never know.
Whoa, a la Stephen Smith.
A la Stephen Smith.
It could happen. It could happen. But at the same time, there's so much cricket being played around the world. It might not be the end of the world. I know he's going to have to rehab, so he's going to be working hard. But it's a rest away from the game. He can, focus elsewhere and maybe get his mind a little bit clearer. But then saying that, he was on such good form, wasn't he? I mean, he kept posting career high batting totals, didn't he, as well? So it's a real bad time for him. Obviously, coming up to the Test series as well, he's not going to be considered, funnily enough. But we'll be keeping an eye on his progress, and we hope he gets back pretty soon. Staying down with the New Zealanders, breaking news finally broke a day after we recorded I think it was the 6th or 7th episode. I can't remember now if it's the last one or the one before. The anticipation was growing. Knots was keep an eye on 10 o'clock this morning. We have breaking news. We didn't get breaking news that day. We got it the next day, and the reason for it was Ross Taylor. He signed on for Nottinghamshire, and the delay was that obviously his leg went twang, didn't it? So they had to wait to make sure he was going to be fit before they could announce a signing. So he's another one. He's going to be joining the Trent Bridge outfit for the first half of summer, and he's going to play in the 4-day and 50-over competitions. He's going to join fellow Kiwi Ish Sodhi and Aussie Dan Christian in Nottinghamshire for the summer. So they're the other 2 signings we have. Massive signing. He's going to drop in probably at number 4 after somebody's decision to go and play white ball only, and the retirements of Michael Lum and the return to Zimbabwe, Brendan Taylor. Ross Taylor is just what we needed at Nottinghamshire. Yeah,
that's got to be one of the signings of the year that any county team could make. They have a genuine top 6 solidified 83 Test match superstar of New Zealand. It doesn't get any better. You'll be hard. You go all the way back to getting guys like Mike Hussey and those guys coming and playing in the league to find probably a better middle order overseas player up there.
Yeah,
it's hard to say how good he is because you've had guys like Amla come across and score runs in county cricket. Ross Taylor's right up there with that kind of upper echelon of Test cricket players. Huge signing.
Yeah, absolutely. My favourite's still got to be Dave Hussey, though. He didn't play as much as he should have done for Australia, but David Hussey at Nottinghamshire and in the county game, I've not seen many better than that. So look forward to seeing him. So this is a good opportunity for us to just have a quick look at the upcoming England-New Zealand Test, 2 Test game series. New Zealand have just announced their squad. I'm just going to roll through this and then we'll just pick the bones out of it. So it's a 12-man squad. We've got Jeet Ravel, Tom Latham, Kane Williamson, Ross Taylor, Henry Nicholls, otherwise known as Harvey Nicholls, Colin de Grandhomme, BJ Watlin, the wicketkeeper, Todd Astle, the spinner, and then the 4 seamers, Tim Southey, Neil Wagner, Matt Henry, and Trent Bolt. So that's the Kiwi squad. So let's just have a look at that first, Rob. Thoughts on that?
Whenever you've got Williamson and Taylor in the same squad together, Kiwis will feel pretty confident about where they're going. Happy to have Jeetan Raval. He's kind of nailed himself down. He's only 9 games into his Test match career. Never got 100, but he's got 650s, averages 44.5. So he's turning himself into a decent Test cricketer, but he does need to go on and get that next level score, because the Umdanard with Martin Guptill at the top of the order for so long, they just need that next guy to come through. BJ Wattling being back is a really big plus for them as well. He's one South African born, but 2 scored a lot of runs for New Zealand over the last few years. Almost 3,000 Test runs, just an average just below 40. But he's a genuine solidified 6 or 7 in their order time and time again. But the man to miss out, Blundell, will be absolutely gutted, and he's done everything possible to play in this Test match. Scored 100 on Test match debut, scored runs galore in the Plunkett Shield, and we'll get onto it, but he scored runs against England in the warm-up. The other one that kind of got me is Todd Astle's in the team. So this is obviously, Mitchell Santner was the man. He's the spinner in all formats of cricket for New Zealand. He's gone. He's out for 9 months. Who did they go with? It's down to basically Ishant Sodhi or Todd Astle, and they've gone with Todd Astle over Ishant Sodhi. Now, if it was me, I prefer Ishant Sodhi and the bit of mystery around the leg spin that he can bring, and he's more of an international cricketer. He's played international cricket, multiple formats, whereas Todd Astle, he's good, but I just feel the Kiwis are lacking a wee bit of depth going into this Test match on the bowling front. But they could go with an all-seam attack. It would be interesting to see what they actually go ahead and pick.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you made some good points there. I mean, Jeetan Ravel, I had a quick look. It was a name I wasn't particularly familiar with. And he's a bit of a county, not journeyman, but he's been around the county game. Is he 29 years old now? He's not a big scorer in an innings, is he? That's how he is described. So what he's brought into the international arena is exactly what he does in domestic cricket. In that, he will solidly average you about 40, 45, but he doesn't go on and make those big scores. So, if they can just, I suppose, him and Tomo, your mate, or Latho, is it? Which one is it?
I think you've nailed it, mate.
Yeah, exactly. If they can just put a good foundation down, if he does end up the series averaging 40 and Latham can do similar, then they're going to be, 70, 80, 90 for none, 90 for one, then at least that gives a good foundation for Williamson, Taylor, and the other guys to come in and build on. So it'd be interesting to see how he goes. Yeah, the makeup of the team will be interesting. It sounds like first test they're going to go Astle as a spinner. Maybe Henry misses out, possibly. Yeah. That would be the makeup of the team. But then the second game, where are we playing the second game? Christchurch. That one could see the seam attack possibly.
Yeah, could well do. It would be interesting to see how they go. If they play the spinner, England should target the spinner. You remember when England played Australia, and I can't remember was it Kerrigan they gave a bowl to? It was someone like that, and poor Oach, he just got hammered. Shane Watson targeted him, and he was going all around the park into the stands. If I was England,
was traumatic. Is he still playing cricket, by the way? Is it Simon Kerrigan?
Simon Kerrigan, Lancashire.
Yeah, he was the next great hope, wasn't he? Basically, you can bowl. Yeah, we'll get you in, son, no problem. He was horrendous, and I'm so sorry. He's not going. I doubt he'll be listening, but I'm so sorry to say. But that was one of the worst performances, wasn't it? It was just shocking. He was just completely overwhelmed by it, wasn't he?
It was. It's almost worse for a bowler making Test debut than a batsman, I think. Like a batsman, you could get a good ball, but it's one ball and you're out. Whereas a bowler, you're on front show to absolutely everybody. It's just like, how did he get here?
Just a bit. So yeah, it'd have been nice I think from my selfish point of view, I'd like to see an Ish Sodhi in there, just for the fact that he does wear the green and gold of Nottinghamshire. But no, we'll see how Todd Astle goes. It's a great Kiwi name as well, Astle, after Nathan as well, isn't it? So is there any relation there?
No. His father actually was a cricketer, a first-class cricketer, but it is A.M. Astle, not Nathan Astle. So Alec Astle played 2 first-class games and 1 List A game. And his stats are not really worth talking about, but he did play cricket all the way back in the day.
Good lad, good lad. It's a good name anyway. We'll give him that. So looking at the England Test squad, then we won't go into too much depth here because I don't think there's going to be too many surprises in selection in the 11. But we'll just rattle off the squad. We've got Joe Root, Moeen Ali, James Anderson, Johnny Bairstow, the wicketkeeper, Stuart Broad, Alistair Cook, Mason Crane, Ben Foakes, the reserve keeper, Liam Livingstone, Dawood Malan, Craig Overton, Ben Stokes, Mark Stoneman, James Vince, Chris Wokes, and Mark Wood. So. Liam Livingstone's going to be coming in for Vince, isn't he? I think we can guarantee on that one. How they shake up the batting order, I'm not sure. We're going to see Mark Stoneman and Cook at the top of the order. Does Root go to number 3? That's a big question. Dawood Malan, does he move up the order? He's done so well, especially in the white ball stuff, but he did pretty well against Australia as well. So where does Livingstone slot in? And then the bowlers, it's going to be Broad, it's going to be Anderson, it's going to be Wokes. Do they go with a spin option? Do they go just as Ali as a spin option? It's going to be an interesting one. We've got Stokes back, obviously, so that gives them better balance. So yeah, a few question marks, I suppose, depending on how brave they're going to be in selection. But that's the England squad, Rob. Any thoughts on that?
It's solid. I really like the England team when you end up with Bairstow, Stokes, Ali, and then Broad as kind of that, maybe a 6, 7, 8, 9 sort of option in the batting lineup. That just it reeks of depth, and it's an enabler for people to go and play their natural game, knowing that people can still bat around them down the order. So I said it in the Ashes, but I really fancy Moeen Ali to score some runs.
Yeah, I hope so, mate. I really hope so. I'm going to name drop now. Is that okay?
You go for it. Do it. Just do it.
Go for it. In my wanderings and meanderings yesterday, I actually had a chance to have a very, very brief chat with a certain Graham Swan, jet-lagged Graham Swan. He's back in England just for a little while before he flies back out to New Zealand to carry on his commentary duties for the Test matches. Now, I just spoke briefly, just asked him if he was optimistic, and he is. He's very optimistic that we can get a result here in the Test series. But we just looked at a quick comparison of the ODI setup and the Test squad, and it's very clear to me that, his opinion was the ODI team, they have an arrogance, they have a confidence, they have a bravery, which we're not, I think from his word, the Test side possibly doesn't quite have. If they did, maybe, we could have gone on and taken advantage of those opportunities in Australia and done a hell of a lot better and even won in Australia. But yeah, that was the sort of take that he gave. So really optimistic, but the Test side is just missing something at the moment. To kind of paraphrase him a little bit, he used the term that the Australians are like a dog in a park, that they want to go and make sure they can dominate you. And taking that on a little bit, England did roll over and show the bellies to Australia, didn't they, in the Test series in the Ashes? So can they take some of that ODI sort of attitude, if you like, the arrogance of that, and bring it into this Test arena? Is it the difference between Owen Morgan as a captain and Joe Root as a young captain or an up-and-coming captain? It's going to be really interesting to see how we go into this 2 Test series and sort of how we take the game to New Zealand or not.
Yeah, the two differences, one of the big differences between the 2 sets of players and 2 teams, one is confidence, but 2 is, I can't think of the right word, but it's basically there's a structure and there's a know-how to the one-day cricket that England play. The players have been around the team for a long time, and they're established cricketers at that level. Whereas when this England team, you've got Stoneman, Vince, Malan, Livingstone, 4 potential top 5 or 6 batsmen that you could possibly have, are all relatively new to Test cricket. And Test cricket is really you're getting picked apart by the best bowlers in the world every single ball. Whereas one-day cricket, there's a little bit more freedom to go out there and play some shots. Whereas you can't play a bad shot in Test cricket because there are 3 slips, 4 slips. There's a man under the grill. It's a different game, and I think if we fast forward, if England have a good year, you'll start to see that swag that the England one-day team has, probably in the England cricket Test match team.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're basically going to be seeing all the England Test players walking around with one trouser leg rolled up halfway, aren't you? Just doing that little walk.
Oh, baseball cap sideways, bro.
Oh man, yeah, bro. Oh, bro. Beach stairs. Love it. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. The bowling, I think, will be the key. Obviously, it's how the batters respond to the bowling is equally as important, but the bowlers are the key. Who's going to get the best of it? Is it going to be Southby and Bolt supported by Wagner, or is it going to be Broad and Anderson supported by Wokes and Stokes, I guess? That's going to be the key for me. The question marks have come out about Brody recently. You know, Anderson and Broad, they're both coming to sort of towards the end of their Test careers. Hopefully, it's a few more years yet, especially for Jimmy Anderson. You just love watching that guy, and Brody as well, obviously. But we need to start seeing who's going to step up. So, does Mark Wood get a game? You know, can you work a way of getting Mark Wood into that lineup? Can he find that rhythm which he claims he's starting to get? Can he start taking more wickets if he does get a go? Then there's big Craig Overton. I can't imagine he's going to be as useful on these tracks as in Australia. You know, Australia, we need the big tall bowlers that hit the deck. In New Zealand, it's a bit more English, isn't it? Where you need the bowlers that are a little bit skiddier. So that's going to be a key for me. Liam Livingstone, I really hope he does well. I'm sick and tired of players coming in and out, revolving door selection. Dawid Malan looks like he's established himself. Stoneman needs to nail down that opening spot because I don't know who's next. At the moment. And yeah, Livingston, let's see how they go, buddy. So do you want to, I believe there's just been a warm-up game that's wrapped up over in New Zealand. Do you want to just quickly tell us what's happened in that?
Yeah, so it's very strange warm-up, and there'll be a whole podcast we could do on the right routine to get into a actual tour of a country. I'm not sure if this is the right thing to do. So basically there's two-day games going on the same ground where the teams will be rotated. New Zealand batted first on day one, 376 all out off their 90 overs. Interestingly enough, Jeetan Raval failed, Tom Latham failed, Martin Guptill was in the team, failed, Nichols failed, de Grandhomme failed. Tom Blundell, probably not going to get a slot in this first test match, 131 not out. And there's another guy, Doug Bracewell, got 34 runs. But Kyle Jamieson, the relatively unknown 23-year-old from Auckland, managed to bag himself 100 against England. Incredible scenes for the lad. Never scored a first-class 100, but he retired hurt. So I don't know what the retired hurt means. But 376, pretty good by the Kiwis, but all the runs coming down the bottom of the order. But Jimmy Anderson, he will get the most wickets for England in New Zealand. I can guarantee it. 4 for 56 off 16 overs. And he got the big wickets. He got Latham and Guptill early. He got Martin Guptill. Martin Guptill playing Test cricket. LBW and caught at slip candidates the way he plants his foot. Jimmy Anderson, LBW, 13 balls for 2. There you go. Absolutely incredible. Couple of wickets for Mark Wood. One for Brody, one for Moeen Ali, and one for David Malan.
Love it. Dawid.
In response, so England basically got to bat the next day. Very friendly occurrence going on. 319 for 9 off their 90 overs. Strike rate at 3.5. It's not bad. Everyone's fireman Sam. Seth Rance with 3 wickets for the Kiwis. Jamieson 1. Dougie Bracewell 3. Dougie. And I can never pronounce this guy's name properly. It is Cudgelin, I think. Scott Cudgelin. He's a bit of an all-rounder, can do a bit of all sorts. He may be in and around the Test team over the next couple of years. Watch this space. But for England on the batting lineup, Alistair Cook made 40. James Vince, surprise, surprise, made a good 40-odd before getting out. Joe Root, 51 not out, and took a... Yeah. The funny thing is here, it looks like the players have retired, and then they've gone, oh yeah, he's not out at the end. So there's no 10 wickets to get the team out. It's a bit of a farce. Liam Livingstone, 88 runs. But the interesting thing about Livingstone was they batted him down at 6.
I mean, that's just to get people game time, isn't it? Obviously, that's Stokes' spot, isn't it? 6 in the Test side. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. And it was great to see Rance. Was it Seth Rance? It's great to see he kind of put the fire out of the England batting lineup, or extinguished the batting lineup there with his wickets.
Yeah,
you could say.
Yeah,
maybe. No,
he was
fireman
smoking.
jokes. Smoking. He was on fire in that spell.
It was. So it's a bit of a strange 2-day game. There's another 2-day game starting tomorrow. We'll find out who's going to be in those teams. I'm sure they'll get shuffled around. You'll probably see Livingstone have a crack at 3, maybe.
Who knows? I think all I would say is I think we can't take too much from these 2 warm-up games. I think, look, blokes are running around a field, they're getting the whites on, they're breathing in the air and then turning their arm over and having a little hit. It doesn't seem like it's a particularly tough environment to be warming up for Test match cricket. So any performance is good or bad, pinch of salt, I reckon. And I think the teams are pretty much set to go, and then let's see how it happens. Weather permitting, I think it's going to be a 1-1. I'm not sure. If I had to go for anything, I'd say 2-0 to England, but it could be a 1-1. But yeah, we'll see. We shall see. I can't wait for it to get started.
Same. I'm going to put my money on, and I don't know how I feel about it. I'm putting my money on an England victory 2-0.
Okay, nailed it on, dude. Are you going to any of the games?
I'm going to the first test match. The first test match is a day-nighter in Auckland, so I'm going after work on the first day. And I've booked in with the wife to go for all of Saturday.
Ah, okay. So the day night is the first one. So that might. Sorry, I got it wrong a little bit earlier. So it might be the first test where they're going for the 4 seamers, and the second one they bring the spinner in. So, okay, that'd be interesting under those conditions. And it's a pink ball as well, isn't it? The day nighter.
Yeah, pink ball. Big fan of the pink ball.
Well, as you've seen my cricket boots, mate, I've got no problem with a bit of pink. Yeah. So, right then, that's England-New Zealand Test Series. That should be starting just about the time we next record after this. So, we look forward to it. Just to wrap up, England against West Indies A. Rob, are you sat down? Brilliant. England Lions won a game of cricket. Do we have fireworks? Do we have fireworks? Do we have any noises? Do we have party celebration? Anything like that? I love it. Third ODI, final game of the West Indies A tour ended with a 6-wicket win for England. Well done, boys. So just rattling through these ODIs after seeing West Indies A win the first ODI, despite a memorable 141 from Sam Hain. The second ODI saw West Indies A record another victory, thanks to, in the main, a solid all-round performance from Kemo Paul. She scored 55 and then took 3 for 54. West Indies 2, 5, 6 for 9. Jermaine Blackwood in the runs with a steady 58. Rye for 45 and the aforementioned Paul. England, seamers Gleeson, Sam Curran, 3 for each, and most of the damage, but Matt Parkinson also 2 for 44. Nice name there, just for the fact that spinners are always something we're keeping an eye out for in English cricket. That second game, England would have hoped to have got their first win, chasing down 2-5-6, but fell 25 runs short, despite the best efforts of wicketkeeper batsman opener Alex Davis, 38, and Sam Northeast, 35. Captain Keaton Jennings, 33. He batted in the middle order, interesting. And young all-rounder Sam Curran, 26. So disappointing in the second game, but the third ODI, England won. They bowled West Indies A out for 166. Roston Chase, 67 off 89. Thanks to Matt Parkinson, 4 for 26. And then England secured the win with runs from Sam Hain, 54 not out, Alex Davis, 48, and Nick Gubbins, 32. So 2-1 to West Indies A in the ODIs, 3-0 to West Indies A in the Test matches. Not the most successful Lions tour.
No, but no. You've got to learn. You've got to learn, and you've got to take that next step up. And putting on the 3-line shirt means something. There's additional pressure coming with it. And, there's money incentives with being involved with the Lions and then potentially getting a developmental deal or contract. So the players are playing for quite a big thing. And with the open door policy on the England top 6 batting lineup at the moment, there's every chance that one of these boys stepping up could get a call up. So there is the additional pressure, and I don't know, it's a shame that the guys have let themselves down a little bit. But on the other hand, I look at it and go, I'd be quite interested in seeing a decent West Indies team over the next few years.
It'd be exciting, wouldn't it? I mean, I think the other big takeaway for this whole, the ODI and the Test series is the amount of wickets taken by spinners. Our best mate Jamal Warrican, he took 1 million wickets in this tour. Matt Parkinson's come in and took wickets in the ODIs. Leach was taking him for England in the one days. In the Test series. So it's been a tough place to play spin, clearly, or spin has been very successful at the least. There's that concern always with England, isn't it, playing against spinners? For some reason, we're not very good at it, and I don't understand why. It's a spinner. Why are we so kind of reticent to get move our feet, get down the track? A.B. de Villiers-esque or Australian-esque. Michael Clark was a great proponent of it. Getting to the pitch of the ball, being positive against spin. We just tend to sit back and let them dominate us, don't we? So, but then that could be said a little bit for West Indies as well. But regardless, it's still a concern. But there's some good players for England Lions. They just haven't performed on this tour. We don't know why. But let's see. We're going to just briefly talk about the North v South games, which are a bit of an opener for the county season. and some of the same names are going to be playing in that. So it'll be really interesting to see if players can hit the ground running when that starts. Staying with the West Indies, Andre Russell, bit of injury news here. He's going to miss the rest of the Pakistan Super League after suffering a hamstring injury. So this is about a week old, this news, but it came to us after the last pod. Russell, I mentioned this because he's just returned from a 1-year doping ban in January this year. He made a good impact for Islamabad. So it's a shame that he's gone. It's a blow to Russell, blow to Kings, and we'll pick up the Pakistan Super League shortly. Mohammad Sami. Now, this is a strange bit of news here. Indian bowler Mohammad Sami. He's become embroiled in a very, very bizarre situation. He's been charged with domestic violence following a complaint from his wife. The 27-year-old fast bowler has also been charged under laws relating to attempted murder, poisoning, and criminal intimidation. How the hell do you get yourself in a situation like this? Unsurprisingly, the BCCI, is that the right numbers of C's? BCCI, yep. The Board of Control for Cricket in India has dropped Shami from the list of centrally contracted players. No surprise there, obviously. Shami, should be said, he denies the allegations put forward by his wife. But it should also be said that the charges against Shami carry the potential for custodial sentence if he's found guilty. Can't really add any more to this. It's a sad story from all perspectives. Nobody's coming out of this. Shami's alleging that his wife's suffering from some mental health issues. His wife is alleging that Shami's had infidelities and obviously these other things that she's put forward. We're just going to have to wait to see the judicial process play out and see what comes from it. But a really, really sad situation.
It's a shocker. It's a shock. You don't expect to see these things coming out of sports people's lives because you look at them and go, they do what they want for a living and they earn some decent coin. Now, that doesn't mean they shouldn't have the similar issues and mental health problems or whatever else that goes on in everyone else's lives. But you never expect to read something as serious as this. You get it in the NFL sometimes, don't you, with domestic violence. Yeah. They have a very firm stance on it. We saw Adrian Peterson get banned for quite a long time. I would be surprised if Mohammad Shami ever wears an Indian shirt again.
It's a difficult time as well in India. There has been some big news articles about incidents involving women, and don't want to get too down this rabbit hole. With the way some women have been treated. There's been rapes and all other stuff happened. So it's a really delicate time in India for this sort of stuff. So it needs to be taken as seriously as possible. And it just needs to play out. It really does. I just hope there's nothing's rushed here. I hope the Board of Control for Cricket in India don't try and rush this back, and I don't want them to support the player too much because it has to be seen to be a fair process. If he is innocent, then that's great, and in due course it will come out that he is. But it has to be a process. So we hope that gets sorted soon, and everybody involved is kind of ends up okay if they can. We're going to stay in the subcontinent now. We're going to get onto a roundup of what's been going around the world of cricket. There's so much cricket at the moment; it's ridiculous. Every time you turn over or flick on, internet, there's been another half a dozen games of cricket been played. So it's so difficult to keep up, but we'll try our best. So the Nidahas Trophy in Sri Lanka, all games being played in Colombo. So India are through to the final after they made it 3 wins in a row after they fell short in the first game against Sri Lanka. So 3 wins out of 4 for India. Sri Lanka and Bangladesh have both recorded 1 win each. The 6th and final group game will basically be a semi-final with the winner facing what we'd probably have to call the favoured Indians now. So for this last game, standing captain Rohit Sharma was a star man against Bangladesh. He got 89 off 61 to help them post 176 for 3. Included 79 runs being scored off a productive last 6. In reply, Bangladesh fell 17 runs short, so it was Mushfiqur Rahman again being the pick of the players with an unbeaten 76. Indian spinner and brilliantly named Washington Sundar. He doesn't go a week without us mentioning this fella. He could be the new Mitch Santner, Rob. I'm just throwing that out there. Washington Sundar, he bowled well to return figures of 3 for 22. So that was the 5th game. We've got 1 game left, as I said. It's Sri Lanka Bangladesh. Winner goes through to the final. It's been a pretty good series, considering we've not had all the star players in this. One of your Virat Kohlis, etc., are being rested. It's been pretty good. Some good performances. Is anything you want to pick the bones out of this? I mean, for me, Kusal Perera has done well in the performances for Sri Lanka. Sikha Dhawan, 90 and a 55. He's looked pretty good as well. Washington Sundar keeps popping up as well.
I suppose the thing for me with this tournament is India are playing their second team. This is not their number one T20 team, and they are still winning. They are so far ahead of any of the other Asian nations. Throw Pakistan in the mix, throw whoever in the mix. They are by far the best team on that continent, and probably the best team grouped into all three formats of cricket put together in the world. They just find ways of winning games, and the depth that they have in that country is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. If guys, way down the pecking order would come across and play in different countries, they'd find themselves getting paid. And they just keep finding people. And interestingly enough, it's the bowlers. If you look at the top wicket takers of the tournament, our man, Washington Sundar, 7 wickets at 13.
Excellent. Yeah. It's like you said, they're the trailblazers at the moment in cricket in all three formats. Absolutely agree with you there, buddy. And hopefully, what it'll do. I mean, let's give fair credit. Sri Lanka, Bangladesh are kind of finding a way again. They're just kind of wandering around a little bit. But Pakistan and Sri Lanka, they're still pretty good. Sri Lanka had that period where they lost some really key experienced players. They all kind of went at the same time. So they're just finding their way of finding who are the nailed-on guys. Kusal Perera, he's starting to step up now. It's great to see. But it's you hope that how well India are doing, it's going to pull everybody up with them, because all these countries, they've got such a great rivalry. Let's just talk about the cricket. I'm not going to go into the politics, but they've got I think it's a positive rivalry. Let's look at it that way. That nobody wants one team to get too far ahead. So they're going to be trying everything they've got, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, they're going to be trying everything they can to get as close to India as possible. But at the moment, India just, they're head and shoulders above, aren't they? But I've been pretty impressed. Bangladesh as well, though. The win they got over Sri Lanka was a 5-wicket win, chasing 214. That was an unbelievable effort. Mushfiqur Rahim 72 not out again, unless I've written that down. No, 72 off 35, and then he got a 72 not out off 55 in the last game against India. So he likes his 72 not outs. Mahmudullah, he's knocking around, still taking his wickets, but it's been a decent. We've not had a chance to watch this. We don't get it on TV over here, so it's difficult for us to comment too much on this. But you read plenty, you see some of the highlights, I think you can't look past India for the final, can you?
No, you can't. And you know what I really hope? I really hope it's an India-Bangladesh final. Bangladesh can turn over Sri Lanka in basically the eliminator, isn't it? It's like Gladiator.
Yeah.
If they can turn them over, then fair play. Get Bangladesh playing more and more competitive cricket, getting through to finals. Better for the world game.
Yeah, I'm a little bit biased. I've been to Sri Lanka a couple of times, pal, and I was there over for the England Sri Lanka ODIs a couple of years ago, and I went to the stadium. So I'd quite like to see the locals in there enjoying the cricket in the final. I'm still going to say India are going to win, so they're going to enjoy being there, but they're not going to enjoy the result. But yeah, you can't have everything, can you?
You can't have everything now.
No. Okay, right. Next up, we have got so much. Cricket World Cup qualifiers. Don't worry, everybody. We are going to talk about the Pakistan Super League shortly as well, but I just want to get the international cricket out of the way first. So we're up to the Super 6 stages now. All very exciting. Super Sixes. Doesn't that sound great? They really need to come up with better names. It's all to play for. Today's games, today and tomorrow, kick off Super Sixes. Today's games, today and tomorrow. What a brilliant sentence, Rich. West Indies play Afghanistan, which is actually on at the moment in the background as we record. Scotland taking on UAE, and host Zimbabwe are playing Ireland. So, as we said before, it's a bit of a complicated one, but as we said before, the Super Sixes, the results of the groups do go into the Super Sixes. So the table as we start has West Indies played 2-1-2, Scotland, Zimbabwe, Ireland played 2-1-1, with a tie for Scotland and Zimbabwe as well. And then Afghanistan and UAE are both played 2, lost 2. So they're the results that are carried over. So it sees West Indies on 4 points, Scotland, Zimbabwe on 3, Ireland 2, and Afghanistan, UAE on none. So West Indies have to be the big favourite, surely. The way they've played, it's been unreal. But Ireland, Scotland, Zimbabwe all have a fair shout. And to be fair, Afghanistan, UAE also still have a shot of getting into that final and getting one of those two places to go into the Cricket World Cup. It's just so it just sounds like we're breaking news here. Look at this. West Indies 161 for 5 against Afghanistan with 42.2 overs. Rashid Khan bowled pretty well. So, yeah, it's not going to be the biggest score in the world. You've got Powell and Shy Hope. Oh, Shy Hope's just gone. Look at that. Caught on the rope. 43.
Oh, breaking news.
Breaking news. So 161 for 6. So Afghanistan, this could be a massive win if they can just finish this innings and then take, do what they've got to do other side of it. So there you go. Anyway, let's get on to it. So that's where we are with the Cricket World Cup. Do you want to just rattle through? I think we got up to 8th game before, so without going into too much detail, is anything jumping out of you? I mean, I'm going to just quickly say the 10th match, Papua New Guinea against West Indies, Jason Holden, 99 not out. Are you kidding me? And in the same game, Shy Hope, 49.
Yeah, it's a decent call for a bit of jug avoidance.
Have they ran out of money, those boys? Can they not afford to get a couple of jugs in at the bar? It's embarrassing. Come on.
That's a shocker.
So,
the other game that catches me is the Nepal versus Scotland game. And Scotland solid with the ball, 149 all out for Nepal. And Coates again, the ex-Durham, he might still be at Durham, but he batted superbly. Carl Coates got 88, and he's turning himself into a bit of a run machine in this competition at the moment, just banging them out all the time. In fact, the Scots are doing really well. McLeod's got 246 runs. He's looking good. Scots are looking good, but because it's only 2 teams that go through, and the way it's structured is you've got the West Indies there, so you can almost put your bottom dollar on West Indies are qualifying. It comes down to one other team. And when Zimbabwe are on fire, Afghanistan are coming back into the mix, Ireland and Scotland are I worry about them not being able to make it through.
Yeah, completely agree. I think West Indies, if they don't go through, this will be one of the biggest shocks in cricket. This isn't probably the most watched qualified tournament or whatever. People are probably not paying that much attention to it. But if West Indies don't get through to the World Cup through this, it'll be one of the biggest shocks in the last 10, 15 years or more, I think. Talking of West Indies, they beat in the 13th game. They beat Ireland by 52 runs. So 257 for 8. Ireland 205 all out. Rodman Powell 101. He took the man of the match there. So have just a little look down. Let's see some good names as well. I love the names out of some of these places. Evan Lewis, West Indies again when they beat Netherlands. He got at 84. Marlon Samuel 73 not out. Netherlands Ryan Tenderskata 67 not out. 3 run outs for West Indies in that one. It's been good. Zimbabwe have been really convincing. In the game against Hong Kong, 263 for 9, then bowled Hong Kong out for 174. Hamilton and Masakadza, 84. So they've been really impressive. Obviously they've got guys to score runs at the top of the order, haven't they, as well? Did you see the Ireland game? 18th match of the series, mate, against UAE. 313 for 6. Paul Sterling 126. Will Portford 92. Kevin O'Brien 50. And in reply, UAE 91 all out. Gulmar Shabar 19 top score. Boyd Rankin 4 for 15. Simi Singh 3 for 15. Really impressive. Really impressive. I mean, Hong Kong Nepal played a really close one. 153 plays 155. No, it wasn't actually. They had 10 overs to spare. I apologise. Yeah. But then the last game, this is a pretty good one. I don't know if you saw this. Zimbabwe-Scotland tied. Match tied.
Wow. 210.
And Safian Sharif, I believe he was the... He took 5 for 33 for Scotland. Richie Barrington, 47. And Coates again, 39. But I think it was 10... Was it Chazor? No, Creamer, was it? Oh, I forget which one it was now. But whoever bowled the last over kept his nerve. So it's been a pretty good tournament. We are where we are with it. We can't go into too much detail, otherwise we'd need another hour and a half. But it's going to be interesting, and we're into the Super Sixes now, so hopefully by the time we pick up again, we're going to be close to knowing who's going to be in the final, and then we'll know who's qualifiers. Obviously, whoever wins is great, but it's the 2 teams that come through.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going out on a limb, and I'm going to say Ireland are going to make it through.
I think, Scotland have overachieved for me. I think they've done remarkably well, but I can't see them taking that on against the really top oppositions consistently. West Indies have got to be there. As we see Carlos Braithwaite try and sweep slug Sheriff Foot in, and he's caught it deep backward. 166 for 7. Afghanistan bringing it. They took a while to warm up in this competition, but this is where it counts. This is the business end of the tournament, isn't it?
It is. If they keep winning, they can qualify. Basic maths.
Look at this, live commentary. But shame we're not actually going to be live as it comes out. So this will be just remarkably out of date by the time we got it. And we'll know if Afghanistan have won or not.
Yeah, the Leading Edge podcast. All your needs in dated commentary.
Exactly. Right, Pakistan Super League, PSL time, buddy. We've got some crackers here. Multan Sultans. Whose pick were they at the halfway point? Oh, my days. So they were top of the league at halfway, weren't they? Islamabad United have flown atop of the standings now, with the Sultans slipping down to the 4th spot. 4th spot. Letting me down, brothers. What's going on? So let's just run through the table first. Islamabad top, matches 8, won 6, lost 2, 12 points. Quetta Gladiators played 9, won 5, lost 4, 10 points. Then we've got Karachi King, Multan Sultans, both with 9 points. Karachi Kings have only played 8 games versus 10. Oh, it wasn't no result there. Zalmar, Peshawar Zalmar, 6 points. Lahore Calendars, 6 as well. So it's kind of the way it's going, it's going to be a 4-horse race, isn't it? But Multan Sultans are losing value quickly. We caught up with this. Oh, let's not talk about it, all right? We caught up with it after the 15th game before, so let's have a look where we've been. Big results. Multan Sultans on the 16th match. They carried on the winning run. Shahid Maskood, man of the match with an 85 of 42 balls as they beat Peshawar Zalmar by 19 runs. In the next game, this is potentially where it all went wrong, but Rob. 152 for 5 for Multan. Quetta Gladiators knocked them off with a ball remaining, won by 2 wickets. What a nail-biter. Umar Gul. Exactly. Umar Gul, 6 for 24.
Umar Gul's still playing. Oh.
6 for 24. Unbelievable effort. Shoaib Malik, 65 not out, skipper. And Maksud as well, got some runs again. Islamabad, next game against Lahore, they won by 6 wickets for 14 balls. Luke Ronchi again in the runs. Second man of the match, I believe, for him. He got himself a 77 to win the game. Next game, Shane Watson for Quetta Gladiators against Karachi Kings. Man of the match for 90 not out of 58 balls. Some bloke called Kevin Peterson got 52 as well. So,
probably edged a few around.
Yeah. This is the one I want to talk about, though, buddy. Multan Sultans, everyone's favourite, against Lahore Calendars. I might be changing allegiance because of this one fella and this one performance. Okay, Multan Sultans, 114 all out. Kumar Sangakkara, 45. Shahzad, 32. Okay? Sunil Nareen, nice, 2 for 19. But this is what it's about. Young lad, 17-year-old, left-arm seamer, Shaheen Afridi, 5 for 4 of 3.4 overs.
Oh, who's he?
Massive talent. I've no idea. I watched the highlights, man. He looks a good fella. He's big, he's tall, he's got strong action. I just file that name away, that's all I'm saying. So he pretty much got the win from Brendan McCullum, 35 not out, for Calendars knocking the runs off for a 6-wicket win. But Shaheen Afridi, keep an eye out for that man. Peshawar Zalmar against Islamabad. Islamabad won by 26. Their run continued. JP Doomany in the run, 73 not out. Samit Patel, 4 for 34. Go on, Samit.
Oh, class act, that Samit.
Class is permanent, isn't it, for Samit? Yeah. Joe Denley got some runs for Karachi Kings in the 22nd match against the woeful now Multan Sultans. Sorry, they're still my team. I'm going to stay with them. Joe Denley, 78. Babar Azam, 58. Shahid Afridi, 3 for 18 for Karachi, though, to clinch the game. So you got man of the match. Anything else you want to pick out from the games onwards, buddy?
I think it's just some of the big names who's been doing so well. Imran Tahir's got a heap of wickets. Samit Patel, as you've mentioned, has got a heap of wickets. Shahid Afridi still gets it done. He's got 10 wickets at 12 in the competition, going at less than 6 and over. Shahid Afridi, the man's almost 40 years old, doesn't make a difference. Shane Watson's in the wickets. And if you look at the runs, Shane Watson's in the runs. He's the top run scorer in the competition, over 300 runs. Luke Ronchi has got 279 runs. Sangakkara, Evergreen Sangakkara, 269 runs at an average of 33, 350s, 27 boundaries, 10 sixes. The guy's just, he's a beast. He's an absolute beast. It's almost, I don't know, the way I look at it is there's almost too many overseas players dominating proceedings. I know we've got that one instant of the young lad getting a load of wickets, but it's almost like the big names are too dominating.
They're doing all right. Yeah, I take your point, but then Fakhar Zaman, he's the third highest run scorer at the moment, and he was man of the match in one of the more recent games as Lahore beat Qatar by 17. So he got 94 off 50 balls in that game. So yeah, definitely. I mean, Shane Watson, 21 sixes. That's amazing. The next highest six hitter is Fakhar Zaman on 16. So loving that. Babar Azam as well. He's kind of, what's he got? He's got 244 runs. Mohammed Hafiz, Shoaib Malik. So there is some, but yeah, I do definitely take your point. There is one or two overseas players, but it looks like it's a good competition. The standard of cricket looks really, really good, really strong. And granted, people like Shane Watson, Luke Ronchi, and an aging Kumar Sangakkara, etc., are doing so well. I'm gonna just kind of hold the horses a little bit to say of how good the product, the actual competition is, but. The product, the actual cricket as a spectacle, sounds all reports has been fantastic. So the competition is getting stronger and stronger. As you mentioned on the wickets, a few spinners in there again, isn't there? Imran Tahir, Samit Patel, Shahid Afridi, Sunil Nareen's up there as well. So it's Yasir Shah as well. Remember Yasir Shah?
Yeah. There's one more name that pops out to me, Rich.
Yes.
It's your mate, your best mate.
Don't know who you're on about.
Alex Hales.
Yes, he's just arrived, hasn't he? Alex Hales, white ball journeyman, white ball, give me a bag of money and I'll come and play for you, Alex Hales. Is that who you're on about?
So he's gone over there. He's picked up some runs in his first game. But the thing that interesting you're saying, the standard of cricket is really good. Waqar Younis has come out and said the Pakistan Premier League or Pakistan Super League is the best bowling in the world. Better than any league.
Who said that? Sorry, Wazim Akram? Did you say? Oh, Waqar Younis, the other one. God, those boys were amazing together. Hey, how can we argue with that? I mean, he's trying to pump his own game up, isn't he? So, not going to question that at all. Fair play to him for doing that. Anyone would. If you ask an Indian, they'd say IPL is the best bowling in the world. So, but it's just you go through it. There's some good players and some great performances. And I'm going to say it one more time. What was his name, Rob? Shaheen Afridi. Yep. Lahore Calendars, left arm quick, 17, big, tall, talented. There's a name. Just keep an eye on him. So we've got 4 games remaining before we go into then we have a qualifier in Dubai, just to see who's going to get through to it's called Eliminator 1 and Eliminator 2, but that's basically semi-finals, I guess, isn't it? So we've got 4 games left. Still plenty to play for. Islamabad United are through, I believe. The big news as well, we mentioned at the start, is once we've got these games out of the way, once the last qualifiers out of the way in Dubai, we then move to Lahore. We've moved to Pakistan, and then the final is going to be played in Karachi. So I'm absolutely delighted that they're going to get a chance to finish the game, finish the tournament back in Pakistan. That's going to be amazing for them.
Yeah, big moment for Pakistan, that.
Awesome. Okay, we've not forgot about South Africa, Australia. Let's get through that. So, after the Aussies came out on top in the first test, South Africa, as we predicted, came back strong and won the game by 6 wickets, with Kagiso Rabada being the man of the match. More on him later. Australia batted first, posted score of 243. David Warner, top scorer with 63. With the ball, Rabada 5 for 93. That included a ridiculous spell to rip out the Aussie middle order. And Giddy 3 for 51, and Vernon Philander 2 for 25. There is a bit of news about that first innings, but we're going to talk about that after we've mocked the game. In reply, South Africa's first innings, 3-8-2. A.B. de Villiers, magnificent 126 not out. He was ably spotted by Dean Elgar, the gritty. With just any word that's sort of like gritty, you just have to describe Dean Elgar. Yeah. 57, Hashinam 56, tail end Vernon Philander. I'm calling him a tail ender. I don't care if he took runs and got wickets. Took runs and got wickets, all the other way around. 36 and Keshav Maharaj 30. With a lead of 139, South African bowlers got back to work, dismissed Australia for 239. Thanks again to Rabada. 6 for 54. Unbelievable. 11 for the game. Usman Khawaja 75, Mitch Marsh 45 are the only batsmen to post scores of any note. And then Maharaj and Giddy 2 wickets apiece. So target 101. South Africa knocked the runs off 4 wickets down to keep things a little bit interesting, but job done. Teams move on to Cape Town for the third test, set to start on March 22nd. So we predicted South Africa would come back strong. We just thought that after the first innings, Aussies, as we had the Graham Swan description earlier, they're like dogs, in the part that they want to be dominant. South Africa did not roll over and show the belly in the second innings. They came back strong, and they probably overstepped the mark a little bit in going back at the Aussies, but it got them the win. So it's a fair play for the South Africans.
Very, very happy. Good to see this test match. We said second and third best team in the world in terms of the rankings. And Rabada, sure, he may have overstepped the line, but if you're a team and you've lost your first test match, what you want is your fast bowler full of grit and piss, ready to go at the opposition. And he was quick, and he was nasty, and he wanted to get wickets, and he wanted to let them know, hey, we are no pushovers. You push against us, we're going to push you twice as hard back. And he went in there just steaming in and was incredible. That first day in picking up 5 wickets, getting Smith out, just electric. If that's your pace bowler doing that, you just caught heroes straight off.
You're loving it, aren't you? You are absolutely loving it. The downside of that, which we're going to get onto later, is that he's not going to be available for the rest of the series. Ho-hum. And cricket's the loss there, isn't it? Because he's been awesome. Absolutely awesome, Rabada. So, okay, this is what we need to get into now. So we had the shambles of the first test with regard to player behaviour. All eyes, obviously, were on the second test to see how this game will go. Will there be a boxing match in the outfield? What's going to be kicking off between De Kock, Warner, Lyon and the others? How will they conduct themselves? So on the first day, first innings, Australia, Rabada, he was in the middle of an awesome spell. He got far too overexcited after dismissing Steve Smith, and there was contact made. It sounds like we're talking about football. There was contact. He went over.
Rolling around.
It was a weird one, though. It was an LB, and Steve Smith started walking towards extra cover almost, or towards, mid-off. It was almost like he was half walking to give himself out before he was given out. And Rabada was in his celebration, in his appeal before celebration, or sort of half appeal, half celebration. And Rabada, after he was given the decision, carried on walking past, and he kind of brushed past Smith. He didn't need to do it. He could have got out of the way. Smith could have got out of the way as well. It's just one of those, a messy situation. But as soon as I saw it, I thought, he's in trouble here. So basically, the outcome, Rabada's received 3 demerit points, taking his total to 8 in the last 2 years. According to the ICC's rules, that activates a two-test ban, meaning the man of match from St George's will not be in action for the last 2 test matches in the series. Match referee Jeff Crow said that I found that there was contact between Rabada and Smith, and in my judgment, the contact by Rabada was inappropriate and deliberate. That's the key word. He had the opportunity to avoid the contact, and I could not see any evidence to support the argument that the contact was accidental. Okay, right. Just yesterday, I hate it when media outlets just use Twitter as a news resource. But Vernon Philander, on his Twitter page, said, haven't really seen the footage of this incident, but by the looks of this, Steve Smith gave KG the shoulder. He could have avoided any contact, but to me, he is just as guilty. Trying some football skills to get a penalty. Pity he didn't dive to top it off. Vernon. I love you, brother, but that's taking it to the extreme. I mean, Steve Smith is a bit of a tool, isn't he? And, he should be held more responsible for the behaviour of the Aussies, especially in the first test and going forward. But, come on. We've seen the incident. I mean, Rabada, it's nothing, really. It's a nothing incident, but Rabada didn't need to be there. I don't think Smith walked into him. I'm going to just say Vernon's stretching that one a little bit. So.
I've actually seen something come out that says Vernon Philander's had his Twitter account hacked and he didn't actually say that. So I'm just like, whatever, bro. Whatever. You've called this, now own it.
Anybody that ever says something that's controversial or gets them in a little bit of trouble, it was hacked, man. No chance.
The way I look at it, one, Rabada's pumped up. But in cricket, you never make contact. It's not a physical man-to-man contact sport in terms of human skin. And
yes,
you can't do it. But on the other hand, I looked at it and went, Steve Smith, get out of the way.
Why is Steve Smith halfway down the track on an LBW appeal?
No need whatsoever. Steve Smith put himself in the situation. Rabada put himself in the situation. And the only thing that's going to happen is the person celebrating is going to come off worse. And that's what Rabada got. So I think Rabada, they've appealed it. He won't get anything back. He's put himself in an avoidable situation. And he's going to have to take the consequences, which unfortunately takes away from the game of cricket, which is absolutely phenomenal cricket between two of the best teams in the world. Steve Smith, I think he should have been more harshly done with them, in my eyes. One, for the way he's managing this Australia thuggish behaviour in terms of how they actually play Test cricket. Not a big fan. In fact, Mark Taylor's come forward and said he's not a big fan of the way the Australian team are acting at the moment.
No.
And also,
there's a few, isn't there? Yeah, a few have come out. Ian Chappell, we said last week as well. He's criticised them as well.
Yeah, and Steve Smith could have avoided the contact as well. It was basically that moment where you've got two meatheads meeting down a little tight alley and neither will give an inch to each other, so you just get that of shoulders.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's a strange. Rabada. This wasn't the only thing for him in the game, though. This is kind of where we get to with Rabada as well in this instant. He also gave David Warner a send-off in the second innings, which was he's actually been charged a level 1 offence for that as well. He kind of screamed. I don't know the word screamed, but he screamed into Warner's face after cleaning him up. Just to let you know as well, over the last 9 months, it's the third time Rabada's send-offs have come into spotlight. Lords last year, he told Ben Stokes to F off. Yeah, fair enough. And he did the same to Shikhar Dhawan in an ODI last month against India. It just frustrates me. I don't know. It's Steve Smith's reaction to it as well. He kind of gestured to the umpire like, he's just brushed into me, you know. It's like, dude, you've just been giving it out like a biggin in the first game. And then someone brushes past your shirt, makes contact with your shirt, and you're kind of begging for you know, if it was football, you'd be begging for a yellow card, wouldn't you, almost? So we said it last time. I love the Aussies. I love the cricket. I love the country. I love how easily wound up the fans are as well when you start getting on top of them. But they love giving it out, so it's all good fun. But they've got to take it. We've said it. They've got to take it. If they want to dish it out, they've got to take it. And I'm not saying physical contact, but they've got to be able to just be a little bit better when they lose and a little bit better when people are in their faces as well. Just linking onto this, dude. Rabada, missing out. This is eyes turned to Dale Steyn. But he's not going to be considered now until the 4th test, so he's going to miss the 3rd test, so they're going to be without both Steyn and Rabada. He's recovering from a heel injury. Bit of bad timing, really. Could have done with him back as Rabada drops out. Right, we're nearly there. So much cricket this week. We're just going to briefly, very, very briefly, talk about county cricket, north v south. The season is close. Two groups of players are flying off to Barbados today, I believe, or at least they're going to be there very soon. So what we've got, it's a curtain raiser for the county championship. First played last year, conceived to aid England's selection ahead of the 2019 World Cup. Need all the help we can get. Selection was linked to the Professional Cricket Association MVP, Most Valuable Player rankings, but only 3 of the 8 qualifying players are actually taking the place. But anyway, let's not worry. It's a 3-game series, all taking place at Kensington Oval in Barbados. Fixtures to be played the 18th, 21st and 23rd of March. We've got Mark Ramprakash and Andy Flower coaching the South squad, captained by Sam Northeast. Stephen Mullane is captain in the North, and they are coached by Paul Collingwood and Paul Franks. Apparently, the North lost 3-0 last year. So I don't know. I didn't really follow this. So let's see. I don't know who we're playing, but obviously the North want to come back on this one. We've got a big friend of the podcast, Dave Bracegirdle. He's a commentator for BBC Sport for Nottinghamshire, and he's flying out there today actually to do a bit of work for Test Match Special. So we've not been able to arrange a time to get Dave to give us a preview. I know he's really excited and looking forward to this. He's a big fan of Barbados from his tours there pre-season with Notts. But we're going to hopefully have a chat with Dave when he gets back after this series to just run through what he saw, what he enjoyed, apart from having a few rums and beers in the sunshine. So yeah, that's looking forward to that. Rob, you've got the squads there. Anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, there's a few there, Rich. So Steve Mullane, obviously the Nottinghamshire captain now, is a biggie. Sam Hain, who's got all the runs over in the West Indies, is a really big one.
Yeah, Hayne, he's an interesting one. Ashley Giles was talking about him as a potential red ball cricketer as well. He's not really done it in the last year or so um, for um, for Warwickshire. He's a strange one as well. I think he's grown up in Australia or something. He's born somewhere else. He's another one of them strange sort of weird kind of background cricketers. But he's just got some technical issues in the red ball game. But they do hope that he could be an all three formats player. So, but white ball, he's been pretty destructive of late, hasn't he?
He definitely has, and there's just big names around the England scene that will be looking to get performances. Ben Duckett's over there, Keaton Jennings is over there, Sam Northeast is over there, Bell Drummond is over there, Gubbins, who's on the Lions tours, over there. It's solid. Liam Dawson's over there. There you go, Liam Dawson.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, for me, I love Daniel Bell Drummond. I don't know why. I've seen him a few times. I saw him against South Africa last summer playing for the Lions at Trent Bridge, and he just looks like a player that scores runs against good opposition. And I think that he could be the sort of player that when he does finally get the opportunity to play for England, he will just take to it like a duck to water. He's going to be a bit like, I'm not saying he'll have a successful career as these players, but he'll come to it like a Trescothick, like a Vaughan, like one or two others that maybe didn't have the best county record, but I think he's got the right temperament and technique to be successful. Nick Gubbins, Middlesex, he's on the verge, isn't he, of the England Test setup. Dan Lawrence, young lad at Essex. Essex have got some really exciting cricketers as well. Jamie Porter, the quick, he's one I'm really interested in. And Tom Helm from Middlesex, another seamer. We spoke about earlier about, we're not far from the end of the Andersons and Broads of this world. So the Helms and Porters are the ones we want to see come through. Sam Curran as well. Big, I made some bold predictions about him at the start of this podcast. Probably episode 1 or so. And Matt Fisher of Yorkshire, he's another one. Saki Mahmood, Lancashire. Loads and loads and loads of good players. Sam Northeast, captain in the South, he's not had the best of times in the West Indies just recently, but you'd hope he can start banging the door down as well, don't you? But there's some cracking players there. Paul Coughlin of Notts, he has had a really good tour with England Lions, but he's dislocated his shoulder, so he's missing out now. Let's see what happens. We'll pick the bones out of this once it's finished. All 3 games will be played by the next time we speak. And then after that, maybe a week or so after, once Dave's unpacked his shorts, and he's back to life, then we'll have a little chat with him to see what he enjoyed about the series.
Yeah, Dave's will be an interesting chat. Very, very interesting guy. And I just want to say, the North versus South, what a great idea for the start of the season. It always used to be the MCC versus the county championship winners. I think it might have been. It was always the MCC, and it was just kind of random people. Whereas actually it's almost a reward of going, you guys have been really good. Here's a week away at a great location, play some great cricket, and FYI, you're on the radar for what's going on in the national team. So huge step forward in terms of preparation for the season and rewarding players.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think they've been playing the MCC game in Dubai, haven't they, the last couple of years? Because obviously it's a bit damp this time of year in England. We're trying to think it's cricket season, but it don't look like it at the minute. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I think it's really interesting. Fingers crossed it's good weather in Barbados. That would be dreadful to go over there for a week and it be raining. And yeah, we'll pick it up from there. It's all happening, mate. It doesn't get any quieter. We've got, next week we're going to be Nida Has Trophy's coming to an end, isn't it? Pakistan Super League is getting to the point where we're going to be looking at who's going to be in the semis and the final. Did I mention the Cricket World Cup qualifiers? I did. Yeah, I've just repeated myself maybe. But it's all coming up. There is so much cricket. And then there's a small competition in India on the horizon as well. What's it called? The IPL? What is it, Rob? Do you know about this?
IPL, the IPL. That is a huge one.
I jest. That's going to be massive. So that's coming up soon, isn't it? We're going to be talking about that loads. We'll either do a standalone IPL preview pod or it'll be part of next week's podcast, but that's coming up very, very soon. And then on the back of that, on the heels of that, we're not far off English County Championship season.
Yeah, we're a bit spoilt at the moment, aren't we, with so much going on? I think we need to do a separate pod for the IPL, and I think we need to do a County Championship preview show. And I think next week is when the New Zealand England game starts. So when that game's in the books, we'll do a standalone New Zealand-England review on the first test. So just so much cricket on the horizon for us to talk about, and things are going so great. And it feels like a nice time to finish with a nice story.
Whoa. Okay.
Whoa.
Always
Now, I'm
worries
talking
me a
about
little bit.
6'4", 40-year-old, ex-English cult hero is probably the right thing to say. Only played 22 Test matches, but 79 wickets. Heaps of wickets in New Zealand on that tour. Ryan Sidebottom.
Sidey.
40 years old, retired in 2017, 762 first-class wickets, won an incredible, Alex Ferguson, eat your heart out, 5 county championship titles over 20 years, 65 internationals for England across all 3 formats. He has joined Surrey as a bowling consultant, and that makes me feel very happy about life and about cricket and about Ryan Sidebottom.
He's a ledge, isn't he? He came over to Notts, and it was that era of Notts where Sidebottom, Swan, and 1 or 2 others, Peterson, all the rest of it, was getting into the England setup, and it was that move that allowed him to get in there, and he was brilliant. I'm still a bit gutted that we didn't give him a longer contract, because he probably would have finished his days at Notts, wouldn't he? So that's awesome. Great to see a guy like that. I mean, if you're a player, you want a guy like that in your locker room, don't you? Helping you out. So great character, great player.
You definitely do. Proper salt of the earth sort of character. Makes your heart warm. But guys, that will do it for today. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at the Leading Edge Pod. Subscribe on YouTube, Apple or Android. Check us out on Facebook, the Leading Edge Cricket Podcast on Facebook. We've even coined the name and got the little @ sign in front of it. But guys, you have been legend. Thank you so much for all the views and subscribe. We will see you next time. It's bye from me.
Bye from me.